How do we know when the countdown?
All right, everyone. Got
Yo.
commentary from myself, Alec K47 here, and Nerd Squared. Say hi.
Alright.
All right, we should be starting any second now. All right, so do you want to talk about the game itself, or should I?
I think you should.
All right, so New Super Luigi U is based on New Super Mario Brothers U, but has a pretty heavy emphasis on short stages with low time limits. Luigi, as with Lost Levels and many other games, has comparably floaty and low friction controls as opposed to Mario's, which are a little bit tighter. Dropped inputs can happen, especially if they're using wireless controls of one sort or another. Um, and they also have access to an additional character, Nabbit. So Nabbit controls pretty much like Luigi, but basically can't die. Can run right past enemies, but lacks a lot of the maneuverability abilities that Luigi gets from the Acorn suit, which is the what you see there, really. It functions a lot like the cape does in Super Mario World, but not entirely. But that's probably the best way to think about it overall. And you will see Nabbit. All right, so starting into 1-1, they're going to be trying to get an acorn here on an optimal cycle from that enemy there. And assuming they do that, they'll be able to fly through the rest of the level like so. Starting a glide pretty much gives you full speed right away, although you can get slightly more speed from going down slopes. And one other thing that's worth noting is that you can gain extra height from the acorn, but when you do that, it just kills your vertical momentum. You can also hang on to walls for a limited amount of time. They're going to be going for the secret exit here in 1-2, and you can see that they're getting this star. As long as they play well, they're going to be able to chain that into more stars, because like in some other Mario games, if you hit the next block in the level, that will also drop a star if you are invincible while you hit it. So ground pounding through the hidden blocks there, going up the pipe, and that's the alternate exit. So after this cutscene and taking the alternate exit, which is essentially a warp here, you have this Acorn Plains Cheap stage, which is the first warp stage and also the first stage in which you see Nabbit. Nabbit is kind of involved in the plot a little bit, but it's not terribly important. You hold Z or an equivalent button in order to play as Nabbit, and you'll see them just kind of going through some cheeps here at the bottom, and that just makes this level a little bit faster. There is a Luigi only category, but that is slower, so it's not any percent. Miiverse. Shoutouts to Miiverse. It's dead now. Anyway, entering Soda Jungle, which is World 5 in this game. They're going to use Nabbit in the first level here because of a fair number of enemies that are just faster to get past if you go through them instead of, trying to avoid them. It's also safer. Although later you will most likely see some differentiation. Actually, you're seeing M-Chan use Luigi. So sometimes it's just a matter of preference. A lot of these guys run different categories, and if they're more comfortable with one character or another in a level, they might use the other one. That's either more optimal or not. You can see M-Chan there finishing the stage with a time of 77 seconds remaining. What that's going to do is it's going to give him a reserve Acorn. It's cost 15 seconds to do this, but it's a good marathon safety strat because there are places where it's very easy to lose the Acorn suit, but where you really want one and where it would cost even more time to get it back. So much like Super Mario Bros. 3, there are reserve items that you can access on the overworld map, and that's what he's doing there. And it's possible to get more, obviously, but fortunately, it's only 12 seconds if you get those in future. If you get a second or third or so on item, it's only the first one that costs 15 seconds. 5-2 and 5-3 take about the same amount of time. 5-3 is a little bit more optimal, but then again, they're very close in time, so it's kind of your preference. So if you're doing the stages Luigi like Lachurs did, then it's better to play as Luigi. If you're doing 5-3, then you want to play as Nabbit. Apparently, I sound like Will Wheaton. I'll take that as a compliment, I guess. So this tower skip is very, very difficult. And so it takes very precise flight, a series of wall jumps. You can see Lack messed it up there. That is not surprising that at least one person missed it. It's an auto-scroller skip. Given that these levels generally aren't very long, it's not a huge time saving regardless, but compared to doing the auto-scroller, it's still quite significant. And boom boom fights are pretty much what you'd expect. Get the first hit, then chain just like you would in Super Mario Bros. 3 or pretty much any other game with boom boom. So everyone's got tower skip now. That is one of the first major things that you could see someone get walled by. So fortunately, it hasn't happened. Lack losing his second Acorn there, unfortunately, so he may get another safety one later on. Maybe do a little bit more Nabbit strats than he would otherwise. Either way, they're going to be using Nabbit for 5 Ghost in all likelihood. So that's just to get past Boos, and there are a fair number of different Boo rings here, and obviously if you have any experience with Boo rings and playing Mario games, you'll know that they can be tricky to skip without being able to run right through them like Nabbit can. Getting the star is for movement speed, so even though you don't need to get the star to be running through all these Boos, getting it is faster just because of the increased movement speed stars also give you in the new Super Mario Bros. Series. So that exit that they got is actually an alternate exit, leading them to another warp level, 5 Parabeetle. This one, unfortunately, is an auto-scroller. Pretty much the only thing you can do to speed it up, other than not messing up and dying or the like, is to use Nabbit, because Nabbit's flagpole animation is exactly 2 frames faster. Then again, if you play as Luigi, then it's a little bit easier to get through here because you can use the Acorn suit for maneuverability. Either character can farm some 1-ups just by jumping on the various Parabeetles, so after you jump on a certain number of them consecutively, different ones obviously, then 1-up will drop from the sky. And for anyone wondering, those star coins are not at all important in any percent. They really only matter for 100%. I heard things from Nerd Squared.
So I finally got in voice chat.
Well, better late than never. We are just heading into World 7 here. 7-1 is a tricky stage. It's optimal as Luigi, but there are strats for both characters. Either way, it's very easy to hit here, and there's a tricky 2-frame jump at the end, towards the end there, which you saw M-Chan get quite easily. And looks like both other runners are playing as Nabbit, so that is very much a personal preference in this stage. Seven 2, on the other hand, is a pretty straightforward stage. Just hold right and jump and don't die. That's honestly pretty much all there is to it. Actually, looks like DCA is using Luigi in 7-1 after all. This first section of 7 Tower is not an auto-scroller. The second part is. Getting this optimal cycle like M-Chan just did there is a little bit tricky. And then the main part is that he's going to just kind of safely as possible kill these fire bros, or just kind of avoid them, whichever. Either way, it's best not to hit them, because you definitely want to keep the Acorn suit for the boss, which is Kamek. Kamek is random, but you can get quick hits on it using the flight mechanic of the Acorn suit. So let's see here if he's able to, M-Chan is able to get early first hit. Doesn't look like it, but he still got it relatively quickly. And he guessed right on the second hit, and the third hit is always in the middle, so that was still a really solid fight for him. Oh, and DCA taking a hit there, going into the auto-scroller section. Taking another hit. That second hit shouldn't be terribly important, as long as he got past the fire bros, so that's good. And now let's see how Lach does in this boss fight. Looks like it took him a little bit longer to get the first hit, and he's able to adjust and just get that second hit, so finishing it off. Pretty average fight, I would say. Not a whole lot to say about the ghost house that M-Chan just did. There is the leap of faith, which you can play risky with 3 spins or do 4 spins. Either way, he got the alternate exit that he wanted there, which is going to lead him into World 8. Or no, directly to 7 Castle, I'm sorry. DCA, not having the Acorn, had to do some obviously slower strats and is having to play it a little safe. He's still on to a third hit, as far as I can tell. Meanwhile, M-Chan in 7 Castle, we'll see if he goes for a rather difficult cycle skip here. So this first part is pretty much deterministic, but then he's going to get the cycle skip. Nice. So he had to kind of delay a little bit to get on the wall there, because Luigi can only hang on to it for so long. And then get a rather precise jump, followed by another jump over the fire bars. It's pretty easy to mess any of that up. Messing the first part up means you die, because you don't get the wall jump. And messing the second part up means you lose your Acorn suit, which is far from ideal against Ludwig, because he's another boss where, like you see there, using the Acorn suit allows you to get quick hits on him.
Just to check, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Okay, good. Because I wanted to explain the airship coming up.
Go ahead.
Alright. So coming up in this airship that M-Chan is coming up on, he's going to do a sort of a skip. There's all these bombs that are going to spawn by being shot out of a cannon. And he's going to do a setup where if he gets it, he can just consistently get past those bombs. You'll see in a second.
It is quite easy to mess up, and in some of the community relays we've had, people have had significant trouble with it.
Yeah, I know M-Chan in particular has a reputation for messing this one up. But the stuff is, he has a setup that works for him that is consistent.
Nicely done.
Yep. Lachurs is coming up on the airship now.
And DCA taking a death, unfortunately. Looks like he's switching to Nabbit as opposed to using Luigi. Definitely a strategy I can understand. Helps him avoid damage from the fire bars and random enemies.
And a thing with the Bowser Jr. fight, like the Kamek fight, you can just fly on the top of the screen and easily hit the boss.
Yeah, subsequent hits, hits 2 and 3 are the trickier part for that because you have to bounce off of the gloves, and their hitboxes are not very intuitive.
Yeah.
But M-Chan getting a really nice quick kill there. Also, looks like he got the skip nicely.
Yeah, because DCA is using Nabbit for the Ludwig fight, you get to see how it's done normally.
And I believe it's always the last Ludwig to drop, right? Oh, wow.
That's safe.
I don't know if that was him messing up or just trying to swag out or what, but wow. Meanwhile, Lach getting the quick kill on Bowser Jr. as well. All right, so heading into World 8, there is random fireball, I guess you could call it rain, that come down from the sky, and that is obviously much easier to avoid as Nabbit. They want to keep their acorns, and then they can reliably get the alternate exit without losing it. That is perhaps the most important part. It's going to be coming up here in a bit. They're going to have to wait for some special blocks to be broken by fireballs coming from the sky right here. And once those are broken, they can jump up, and you can see M-Chan almost certainly would have got hit by that last fireball that came down if he were playing as Luigi. So that's the primary reason to play as Nabbit right there. DCA getting an Acorn suit, at least being able to do part of the cloud skip here. So now he's got a chance to kind of keep pace, at least for the foreseeable future. Eight 4 is another really tricky level that
great death Lach on Acorn.
Yeah. So Nabbit can die, just not to enemies, basically. He can be crushed, he can fall to his death, including falling in lava.
Mhm.
M-Chan just sailing right through a rather technical level in 8-4.
Yeah, in the base Mario U game, you would actually take the 2 levels instead of taking the secret level, because the auto score, like the equivalent of 8-4 in Mario U, is really slow, but it's faster in this.
An M-Chan with a nice elevator skip. Elevator skip is possible in New Super Mario Bros. U, but it is harder there. It's still very possible to mess it up in NSL U, but he made it through there cleanly.
Mhm.
That entire section.
You made it.
Now, if you keep your actions consistent in the last level that M-Chan is about to enter here, then you should face the same patterns, basically. So it's pretty much in your hands for the level itself. Now, a little bit to explain about the Bowser fight itself, and I'll get into some of the stuff that can happen if things go wrong for him here in this first section, which hopefully they won't. Okay, he's got past
Oh,
the
nice,
clown
got
cart
that little
and he
boost
got the
from Bowser
push.
Jr.
Yeah, that's a nice little time save that you can go for. So, in this Bowser fight, which is the final fight, by getting close to Bowser, you can kind of aggro him and cause him to skip part of his fireball cycle. That is a little bit tricky, but you'll probably see M-Chan go for it. And once he does that, there are going to be one of, I believe, 2 or 3 random patterns. You don't want him to start off jumping right away after that. But then you're going to steal the clown car from Bowser Jr. and then try to keep Bowser Jr. from jumping back in it after each hit you get from Bowser. Bowser is then going to be jumping up and down 3 times, and then he's vulnerable. And then if you stun Bowser Jr., you should be able to get right back in the clown car and avoid him and get another quick hit on Bowser and repeat for hit 3.
Luigi!
Oh, and Lack getting,
Yeah,
yeah, that's
unfortunate death in the
unfortunate.
castle. Luckily, it's right at the start, so it's not that big of a time loss.
All right, so pay attention to M-Chan's screen here. He's probably going to go for Fireball Skip. Kind of flying over, but not too close. He got it. Nicely done. Then knocking Bowser Jr. out of the clown car. Nice quick hit there. He's going to attempt to damage
Ooh, got
Bowser
damage
Jr.
there.
Oh, he got knocked away. All right, he's
Okay, that was a
able to
close
get
one.
Yeah, he had to kind of improvise a bit there, but he's back in the clown car and should be able to get another hit here. Stunning Bowser Jr. again, a much easier pattern, so time is going to be coming up here.
Yeah, on the third hit.
And M-Chan with a 28. That is very nice. 28 is an excellent time, and for a marathon, you really can't ask for better.
Yeah.
Lack, meanwhile, coming up on this fight, at least the cutscene before it, so he's not far behind.
So I'm actually not too familiar with this game, but there is one question I have. Can you run through Bowser's Nabbit?
No, he knocks you
Darn.
back just like his fireballs in the preceding section do.
I see.
He does not damage or kill Nabbit, however, he does knock him back.
Yeah.
What? Oh, yeah.
DCA with some nice dodges there.
Yeah, since he's playing as Nabbit, he just has to play that section by ear. Diamond and Latch are actually pretty close, because Latch just started the Bowser fight and Diamond's about to do phase 1. Or DCA.
And because he didn't have the Acorn suit, he was not able to do Fireball Skip. But that's only a short time save. Now, getting the clown car back quickly, just like you want.
And time to go. Oh, not quite yet.
No, that was
Lost
hit
track.
too.
Lost
Nothing.
track.
Yeah. He's got the clown car again, though. You definitely do not want to fail to get the clown car back, because then Bowser will go into an attack cycle, which can lose 30 plus seconds depending on exactly what he does. And yes, like Ozzy said, in chat, the donation bid war for which story Kirby plays in Fire Emblem Fates is going to be closing very shortly. So if you want to snipe that, definitely get that donation in now. Lack finishing with, in the chat, saying a 31:21, which I would say is a pretty average time. There's definitely nothing to feel bad about there at all.
Time is coming up on DCA's screen. Oh, we lost the clown car. He's gonna have to get back in.
Yeah.
Alright, you got it.
Alright, he was able to
Bowser
get back
Jr.
in,
is pretty far
fortunately.
away. And that's time for DCA. God dang it, I was 1 hit ahead.
Oh, I thought that was the last hit too. We both got bamboozled.
Time was coming up on DCA's screen.
Oh, and getting hit out again.
Let's go DCA. Also high.
And Bowser Jr. getting back in the
here's
clown car.
MTN, the winner. I was 1 hit ahead.
Oh, I thought that was the last
Hi,
hit,
guys.
too. We both got bamboozled. Oh, getting hit out again.
Let's go DCA. Also high.
And Bowser Jr. getting back in the clown car. Alright, and DCA going for the final hit now.
Time.
That's time.
Hi, guys.
I think I'm not sure, but I think if he didn't miss that last hit, that would have been a PB.
It would have been a pretty solid 32, like a low 32, definitely.
Yeah, GG everybody on the race. That was really fun.
Also, just to give my own self-plug, I'll be doing a race of Celeste as the second to last game of the marathon coming up. It'll be in about 7 hours.
And also, M-Chan will be running a Link to the Past 100% after Fire Emblem Fates. So stick around for those runs. We got a lot of good stuff for you.
Yep.
One thing I want to clarify about my run. In 7C, I did not mean to swag out like that.
We didn't think you did.
Yeah, I meant to do a triple jump while I was waiting, and I slipped off the edge. It worked, though.
It did work. And with that, congratulations on coming under estimate, everyone. Good race. And
Yeah.
we will get going for the next game. Stick around.
Stay tuned, everyone.